As we continue to be on your side tracking this storm, we also want to answer some of the questions we're hearing, like, is Bret going to hit Florida? Will it become a hurricane? And what does this mean for hurricane season? Chief Meteorologist Tim Deegan is here now. And Tim, you have the answers for us.
Well, Heather, I certainly feel much more definitive today as compared to yesterday, especially the first two of those answers. The third one will be a little bit longer than just yes or no. Wanted to show what we call the spaghetti models because I know a lot of you like to look at them. These are the most popular models that folks look at. This particular model would still show a hurricane pointing to the northwest. This looks like it's pointing toward Florida, but don't worry about at least this one. 40 years ago, this model was a significant model. It just doesn't do any good compared to the best models. And where are the best models? Now all down here. So with that said, let's answer some of those questions. We're going to try to do it pretty definitively. We call it the big three. So no, I do not see Bret bringing a threat at all to us here on the First Coast anymore. In fact, although Bret looks like it's going to intensify some, it might not even become a hurricane. It's going to head into the Caribbean. And if you were with us yesterday, we talked about the fact that if it goes west, it's going to weaken. And with more confidence now, it's going to go west, so we think it's going to weaken. So it may briefly approach hurricane strength over the next couple of days, but then weaken in a big way. So what's it mean for the season? Tough to say because, of course, well, as you know, it's hard to nail down tomorrow's forecast, and the season goes through November. But because the oceans are so warm, and I would have said this in January, we expect an active season. And what we're now seeing, especially with the two that have just formed. Now, I know that the system behind Bret hasn't formed yet. We think it's going to. But they're really what we call Cape Verde systems. It came off the coast of Africa. We don't expect to see that until August or September. The fact that those two have, or at least one has formed, the other one probably will, that shows that despite El Nino, which in the old days, if I can put it that way, would have meant a very inactive season, despite El Nino, because of the warm oceans. Looks like it's going to be pretty active, folks. But if you've seen our special, and even if you haven't, the main headline there is, of course, it does only take one. What about that other one I've been talking about? Well, still, it's just what we call a tropical disturbance. It's developing out there. This is Bret, again, with confidence heading into the Caribbean. Eventually, we do expect this system to form. It's probably going to be called Cindy. These are the official numbers National Hurricane Center are giving it. But it looks like even if it does become Cindy, it'll recurve out over the open Atlantic. Not a given, so occasionally good to come back and check out the forecast. And in case you missed it, we've been showing this now for, the last 5 days or so. If you're new to hurricane country, if we can call it that, typically this is where June storms and hurricanes form. Look at where Bret formed, way out here. This other one may form even farther off to the east. Very unusual. Let's come back and talk about that severe thunderstorm warning for St. Johns County. Lots of lightning. Remember, the warning is in effect because potentially winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. That's the worst part of the storm. Probably doesn't take me to tell you. Notice how we lose the intensity. So that's weakening. So that's good news. That is all heading from west to east. All of these storms heading from west to east. So not as widespread of a rain event tonight as we had this morning, but still there will be storms out there heading from west to east. Going to put it all together for you. And although there will be some variations, Wednesday and Thursday's weather pretty similar. Could have just as much activity in the morning as the evening, but then more in the way of hot sun and late day storms as we head from Friday through Sunday.